Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
The following is a Caitanya Lila class given by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj on July 26, 2016 in Sri Dham, Mayapur, India.
Yat Kita Tadhan Bande Sigam Tirthainam Ananda Madhavam Sri Caitanya Swami Hari Om Tat Sat.
লাঙ্গলি শ্রী বলরাম রূপ দর্শন সুকৃতি সর্বজ্ঞ পুনঃ দেখয়ে প্রভুরে মত্ত হলধর রূপ শ্রী মুষল করে.
So the pious astrologer
So the pious astrologer
went into his meditation again, and he saw the following vision. He saw Lord Balaram, the intoxicated Balaram, holding the plow.
The intoxicated Balaram holding the plow.
And the divine club.
And the divine club.
Appeared before the pious astrologer.
And appeared before the pious astrologer. Balaram Subhadra Beshtito Shri Purushottam Rup Darshan. পুনঃ দেখে জগন্নাথ মূর্তি সর্বজান মধ্যে শোভে সুভদ্রা দক্ষিণে বলরাম.
Then the pious astrologer going into his meditation saw the divine form of Lord Jagannath. In the middle was Subhadra.
And in the middle was Subhadra.
Very beautiful.
Very beautiful.
Subhadra. And to her right was situated Balaram.
বিবিধাবতার লীলা দর্শন ও বিষ্ণু মায়া মুগ্ধ গণকের প্রভু তত্ত্বাবধারণে অসামর্থ্য. এই মতো ঈশ্বর তত্ত্ব দেখে সর্বজান তথাপি না বুঝে কিছু হেন মায়া তান. So in this way
the pious astrologer he saw so many incarnations of the Lord.
He saw so many incarnations of the Lord.
He didn't understand anything.
But he didn't understand anything.
What was actually the identity of the Lord.
What was actually the identity of the Lord.
That's how the illusory energy of the Lord works.
That's how the illusory energy of the Lord works. নিমাই সম্বন্ধে গণকের মনে মনে নানা বিচার চিন্তয়ে সর্বজ্ঞ মনে হইয়া বিস্মিত হেন বুঝি এ ব্রাহ্মণ মহা মন্ত্রবিত.
So the astrologer he was thinking in his mind. Astonished by what he had seen. Now I understand. That this Brahman he is very expert in chanting Vedic mantras.
He's very expert in chanting Vedic mantras. অথবা দেবতা কোন আসিয়া কৌতুকে পরীক্ষিতে আমারে বা ছলে. Otherwise
he's some demigod.
He's some demigod
who has come down just to test me. Out of his sweet will. He has come disguised as a Brahmin.
He's come disguised as a Brahman. অমানুষী তেজ দেখি বিপ্রের শরীরে সর্বজ্ঞ করিয়া কিবা কদর্থে আমারে
I see some kind of transcendental
I see some sort of transcendental light
coming from him,
coming from him,
coming from this Brahmana's body.
coming from this Brahmana's body.
Has he come to discredit me?
Has he come to discredit me? সহাস্যে নিমায়ের সর্বজ্ঞকে আত্মপরিচয় জিজ্ঞাসা এতেক চিন্তিতে প্রভু বলিলা হাসিয়া কে আমি কি দেখো কেনে না কহ ভাঙ্গিয়া
So while the astrologer was thinking like that,
So while the astrologer was thinking like that,
the Lord,
smiling,
he said the following:
he said the following,
Who am I?
Who am I?
What did you see?
What do you see?
Why don't you tell me
Why don't you tell me
in detail what you saw?
in detail what you saw? সর্বজ্ঞের অপরাহ্নে তদুত্তর প্রদানে সম্মতি দান সর্বজ্ঞ বলয়ে তুমি চলহ এখানে এখনে বিকালে কহিমু মন্ত্র জপি ভালো মনে
So the astrologer replied,
So the astrologer replied,
I think now is a good time for you to go.
I think now is a good time for you to go.
In the afternoon,
In the afternoon,
I'll chant my mantras
I'll chant my mantras
peacefully.
peacefully
Chant the mantras very nicely,
and chant the mantras very nicely,
concentrating.
অতঃপর শ্রীধর গৃহে নিমায়ের গমন ভালো ভালো বলি প্রভু হাসিয়া চলিলা তবে প্রিয় শ্রীধরের মন্দিরে আইলা
Smiling, the Lord agreed to the astrologer's suggestion.
Agreed to the astrologer's suggestion.
He said, good, good.
He said, good, good.
Then he went to the house of his dear Sridhar.
Then he went to the house of his dear Sridhar.
Sridhar lived near the Sardana village.
Sridhar lived near the Sharadanga village.
At one side of Mayapur.
At one side of Mayapur,
About 1 mile from the Chandkazi's Samadhi.
About 1 mile from the Chandkazi's Samadhi.
To the east.
To the east.
In the raised land.
In the raised land.
He had his house built. Near to the house there was a small
Near to the house there was a small
man-made lake with Pushkar.
Man-made lake, Pushkarini. স্বীয় প্রিয় ভক্ত শ্রীধর প্রতি নিমায়ের প্রীতি শ্রীধরেরে প্রভু বড় প্রসন্ন অন্তরে নানা ছলে আইসেন প্রভু তান ঘরে শ্রীধর
satisfied the Lord very much internally.
Satisfy the Lord very much internally.
And for different reasons.
And for different reasons.
Excuses. The Lord would come to his house.
The Lord would come to his house.
Visit him on various pretexts.
And visit him on various pretexts. প্রত্যহই কিয়ৎক্ষণ পরস্পর কথোপকথন বাক্য বাক্য পরিহাস শ্রীধরের সঙ্গে দুই চারি দণ্ড করি চলে প্রভু রঙ্গে
The Lord would have his discourses with Sridhar.
The Lord would have his discussions with Sridhar.
Joking with him
joking with him and
speaking in a humorous way.
speaking in a humorous way.
They talked to the four dandas.
They talked for a few dandas, for 2 to 4 dandas.
A danda is about 22 minutes.
A danda is about 22 minutes.
So 45 minutes to an hour and a half
So 45 minutes to an hour and a half.
while discussing with Sridhar.
So the Lord would go on discussing with Sridhar.
He would teach in various ways.
He would tease in various ways. নিমাইকে শ্রীধরের অভ্যর্থনা প্রভু দেখি শ্রীধর করিয়া নমস্কার শ্রদ্ধা করি আসন দিলেন বসিবার
When Sridhar saw the Lord,
When Sridhar saw the Lord,
he immediately offered his obeisance.
he immediately offered his obeisances
Great faith
with great faith
and respect.
and respect.
He offered a seat
He offered a seat
for Nimai to sit on.
for Nimai to sit on. নিমাই ও শ্রীধরের পরস্পর ব্যবহার বৈচিত্র্য পরম সুশান্ত শ্রীধরের ব্যবসায় প্রভু বিহরেন যেন উদ্ধতের প্রায়
Sridhar, Sri Sridhar, Sridhar,
শ্রীধর
he was by nature very peaceful
he was by nature very peaceful
and reserved.
while the Lord
he played like a mischievous
he played like a mischievous person
an agitated young man.
an agitated young man.
Actually,
Lord
Caitanya was acting in this way
Lord Caitanya was acting in this way
in order to give blessings to Sridhar
in order to give blessings to Sridhar
by engaging him in devotional service.
by engaging him in devotional service. হরি ভক্তি সত্ত্বেও শ্রীধরের দারিদ্র দুঃখের কারণ জিজ্ঞাসা প্রভু বলে শ্রীধর তুমি যে অনুক্ষণ হরি হরি বলো তবে দুঃখ কি কারণ
So the Lord said,
Sridhar,
always chant the holy names.
you always chant the holy names.
Hari Hari,
Hari Hari,
Hari Hari,
Hari Hari,
Hari Hari. Why are you always so poor?
but why are you always so poor?
The Lord is the husband of the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi.
The Lord is the husband of the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi.
So why does he keep you poverty stricken?
But why does he keep you poverty stricken?
Oh,
লক্ষ্মী কান্তে সেবন করিয়া কেনে তুমি অন্ন বস্ত্রে দুঃখ পাও কহ দেখি শুনি
Lord Caitanya said,
Lord Chaitanya said,
can you please tell me
can you please tell me
why
after
serving the beloved Lord of Lakshmi,
the beloved Lord of Lakshmi
you do not get sufficient food and clothes?
you do not get sufficient food and clothes?
Lord Caitanya was taking the position of a Shakta,
You see, Lord Chaitanya was taking the position of a Shakto,
a worshipper of Devi,
a worshipper of Devi,
like Parvati or the material illusory energy.
like Parvati or the material illusory energy.
And such people bring a little worship for the Lord Narayan.
doing a little worship for the Lord Narayan,
watering tulsi,
watering tulsi.
they get so much material sense gratification.
They get so much material
Sense gratification.
sense gratification.
Nice clothes,
Nice clothes,
good food,
good food.
and so the unlike devotees of the Lord,
But the unalloyed devotees of the Lord,
they don't want to accept anything in exchange
they don't want to accept anything in exchange
for their worship of the Lord.
for their worship of the Lord.
So they remain in apparently a poverty-stricken position,
So they remain in the apparently poverty-stricken position,
but they never suffer
but they never suffer
because of that.
because of that.
Rather, they're always in spiritual bliss.
Rather, they're always in spiritual bliss.
But the materialists, they think, well,
But the materialists think, well,
the devotees of Krishna,
the devotees of Krishna,
they're poverty-stricken.
they're poverty-stricken.
They don't have sufficient food to eat.
They don't have sufficient food to eat.
They don't have nice arrangements to enjoy the senses.
They don't have nice arrangements to enjoy the senses.
So, because they're doing their services to get some material result from Krishna,
So because they're doing their services to get some material result from Krishna.
but the devotees,
But the devotees,
they only want the pure devotion and pure love for Krishna.
they only want the pure devotion and pure love for Krishna.
They don't ask for anything material.
They don't ask for anything material.
If Krishna gives them, it's
If-
all right.
If Krishna gives them, it's all right.
But they don't ask.
But they don't ask. শ্রীধরের সবিনয় উত্তর শ্রীধর বলেন উপবাস তো না করি ছোট হোক বড় হোক বস্ত্র দেখো পরি
So Siddhartha humbly said the following.
So Sridhar humbly said the following:
I don't fast.
I don't fast.
I get something to eat.
I get something to eat.
Have a bigger piece or small piece.
A big piece or small piece.
I see a cloth and I wear it.
I see cloth and I wear it.
I'm still wearing something.
I'm still wearing something. শ্রীধরের বসনে ও ভবনে দৈন্য নিদর্শন প্রদর্শন প্রভু বলে দেখিলাম গাঁঠি দশ ঠাঁই ঘরে বলো দেখিতেছি খড়গাছি নাই
The Lord said,
When
I see a cloth,
when I see your cloth,
it's mended in many places.
it's mended in many places.
In fact,
In fact,
there are at least 10 men's
there are at least 10 men's
in your house.
from your house.
Want to speak that?
What to speak?
I can say
I can say
that I can see that in some places
I can see that in some places
there's no straw.
there's no straw. প্রাকৃত দেবগণের সকাম যজন ফলে নাগরিকগণের জড় সুখ সম্পদ ভোগের দৃষ্টান্তলেখ দ্বারা শ্রীধরের নিষ্কাম কৃষ্ণ ভক্তি ও সন্তুষ্ট রূপ চিত্তবৃত্তি পরীক্ষণ দেখো এই চণ্ডী বিশ্বহরির পূজিয়া কেনা ঘরে খায় পরে সব নগরিয়া Sridhar,
Look at other people.
look at other people.
They worship Chandi or Vishahari.
They worship Chandi or Bishahari.
They have no scarcity for food or cloth.
They have no scarcity for food or cloth.
Those who worship Chandi,
Those who worship Chandi,
they get wealth,
they get wealth,
followers,
followers,
defeat of enemies,
free of enemies,
victory.
victory.
They get all kinds of sense gratification.
They get all kinds of sense
The worshippers
gratification.
of Vishahari
Worshipping Bishahari,
are protected from snake bite.
they're protected from snake bite.
So, what you have chosen to worship Narayana
But you have chosen to worship Narayan
by worshiping Krishna,
by worshiping Krishna.
are getting none of these benefits.
You're getting none of these benefits.
Instead, you're suffering in poverty.
Instead, you're suffering in poverty.
So
actually,
Lord Gaurchandra is showing the mentality of the
Lord Gaurchandra is showing the mentality of the
materialists,
materialists.
that they're desirous of these material benefits,
That they are desirous of these material benefits,
and they lose out on the real goal of life.
but they lose out on the real goal of life.
The devotees of Narayana or Krishna,
The devotees of Narayan or Krishna,
they get the spiritual blessings of the Lord.
they get the spiritual blessings of the Lord.
They're the rightful heirs of all the opulences of Narayana.
So they are the rightful heirs of all the opulences of Narayan.
They go back to the spiritual world,
They go back to the spiritual world.
where the materialists, they take birth again and again in this material world. What?
The materialists take birth again and again in the material world. শ্রীধরের কৃষ্ণে শরণাগতি ও বৈরাগ্যমূলক সদুত্তর। শ্রীধর বলেন, বিপ্র বলিলা উত্তম, তথাপি সবার কাল যায় একসম। Sridhar respectfully replied,
O Brahmana,
O Brahmana,
what you have said is indeed correct,
what you have said is indeed correct,
but the time goes for everyone
the time goes for everyone
in the same way.
in the same way.
And we each have to live out our destined time.
And we each have to leave at our destined time. রত্নগরে থাকে রাজা দিব্য খায় পরে, পক্ষীগণ থাকে দেখো বৃক্ষের উপরে।
The king stays in a house decorated with jewels,
The king stays in a house decorated with jewels,
opulent foodstuff.
and he eats opulent foodstuffs.
Meanwhile,
The birds,
they stay in a tree.
look, they stay on the tree. কাল পুনঃ সবার সমান হয়ে যায়, সবে নিজ কর্ম ভুঞ্জে ঈশ্বর ইচ্ছায়। Vipra Sridhar, he said, although
we can consider
mundane calculations,
the worshippers of the Devas
the worshippers of the Devas
do not worship the Supreme Lord Vishnu,
may not worship the Supreme Lord Vishnu,
and do not worship Supreme Lord Vishnu. They may appear superior
They may appear superior
in that they have all the opulence of materialism.
in that they have all the opulences of the materialists.
But when they are Vaishnava or non-Vaishnava,
But whether they're a Vaishnava or non-Vaishnava,
you pass the time
we pass time
in the same way.
in the same way.
In fact, the non-Vaishnavas
In fact, the non-Vaishnavas
are busy making their arrangements
are busy making their arrangements
for comfortable life,
for comfortable life,
for material happiness,
for material happiness,
and they want material advancement.
and they want material advancement.
And they remain indifferent
They remain indifferent
to the service of Lord Hari.
to the service of Lord Hari.
On the other hand, the Vaishnavas are always busy serving the Lord,
The Vaishnavas are always busy serving the Lord
while remaining indifferent to materialism,
while remaining indifferent to materialism,
material advancement.
material advancement.
They don't take the opportunity
They don't take the opportunity
to act as sense enjoyers.
to act as sense enjoyers.
As a king lives in a palace
As a king lives in a palace
which is full of unlimited wealth and jewels,
which is full of unlimited wealth and jewels,
receiving unlimited care, affection,
receiving unlimited care and affection,
respect from his many order carriers,
respect from his many order carriers,
servants and associates.
servants and associates,
Passes his time
passes his time
accumulating many valuable foodstuffs and clothes.
accumulating many valuable foodstuffs and clothes.
In a similar way, the birds
In a similar way, the birds
are nourished without endeavor
are nourished without endeavor
by Mother Nature.
by Mother Nature.
Also fill their nests with straw and grasses
Also build their nests with straw and grasses
in the high branches of the trees.
in the high branches of the trees.
They accumulate
They accumulate
their food by their own hard labor
their food by their own hard labor
without the help of anyone else.
without the help of anyone else.
Everyone passes their life in the same way.
Everyone passes their life in the same way.
So everyone lives in this material world
So everyone lives in this material world
and enjoys according to their karma.
and enjoys according to their karma.
As a result of my karma,
As a result of my karma,
I'm passing my time
I'm passing my
as
time
a servant of the Lord,
as a servant of the Lord,
according to my own intelligence and taste,
according to my own intelligence and taste,
without desiring any material advancement.
without desiring any material advancement.
So according to the material calculation, I don't have any material necessities.
According to the material calculation, I don't have any material necessities.
Those with equal vision
Those who have equal vision
do not discriminate
do not discriminate
between sense gratification
between sense gratification.
say, oh, this thing is nice, this thing is bad.
To say that this thing is nice, this thing is bad,
This simply shows your own like and dislike.
just simply shows your own like and dislike.
So in the old time,
So in the old time,
people had shortage of food.
people had shortage of food.
They were so-called suffering.
They were so-called suffering.
Now with the advancement in science and technology,
Now with the advancement in science and technology,
they're getting more food.
they're getting more food.
So they think that this is the goal of life.
So they think that this is the goal of life.
But if we study
But if we study
we'll see there's not much difference
we see there's not much difference
between the people's happiness and distress
between the people's happiness and distress
in the two time periods.
in the two time periods.
What's interesting is that some years ago they made a study which country was the most satisfied,
Which country was the most satisfied,
the most happy.
the most happy?
And America and the rich countries were down on the list.
And America and rich countries were down on the list.
The number one country in the world
The number one country in the world was Bangladesh,
which is one of the poor countries.
which is one of the poor countries.
One may be so spoiled
So one may be spoiled
that they don't have everything the way they want exactly.
that they don't have everything the way they want exactly.
They feel very frustrated,
They feel very frustrated
very unhappy.
and unhappy.
Whereas like Sridhar,
Whereas like Sridhar,
he had very little
he had very little
material opulence,
material opulence,
but he was very happy
but he was very happy
worshiping the Lord.
worshiping the Lord.
So the devotees of the Lord,
So the devotees of the Lord,
they enjoy the service of the Lord.
they enjoy the service of the Lord.
So they enjoy unalloyed happiness.
So they enjoy unalloyed happiness.
And they don't consider the so-called external misery
And they don't consider the so-called external misery
as anything but happiness.
as anything but happiness.
Those who are engaged in material happiness which is not related to the Lord,
Those who are engaged in material happiness which is not related to the Lord
pass their time with temporary adulterated happiness
pass their time with adulterated happiness
and distress.
and distress.
So that's the discussion with Lord Chaitanya and Sridhar.
So that's the end of the discussion between Lord Chaitanya and Sridhar.
It's very important for us to understand
It's very important for us to understand
how the material pursuit of happiness
how the material pursuit of happiness
without connecting to the Lord
without connecting to the Lord
is actually a futile attempt
is actually a futile attempt
and doesn't give unadulterated happiness.
and doesn't give unadulterated happiness.
There's lots of distress.
So there's lots of distress.
Whereas if you develop a taste for chanting the holy name,
Whereas if you develop a taste for chanting the holy name,
a taste for serving the Lord,
a taste of serving the Lord,
that will give you real happiness.
that will give you real happiness.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,